Story time of how I found out that my 13-year-old sister was sleeping with my teacher and nobody ever did anything about it. So this is the first time that I'm actually telling anybody because I'm finally old enough to realize that all of this was just wrong. So at the time, my sister was in 8th grade and I was in 6th grade. So my sister claimed that she needed extra help in history, and I guess my mom trusted him because after school he would take me and my sister to his house and then help my sister. And he would always say he had to get ready before he tutored her because they would go in the room with the door shut. But he said that was the only way for her to learn best. And while we were waiting for him to get ready, me and my sister would play this literal funnest and most satisfying game ever. It's where you grow little plant dudes, and me and her literally got so addicted to it. The link to that is also going to be in my bio. And then he would start playing the game with her, trying to get on her good side. And then they make me wait in the living room for about an hour while they study. And every day she would come out saying, "Oh my god, I learned so much today." I mean, she did learn something. Anyways, I'm running out of time for part 2. Part 2 of how I caught my 13-year-old sister sleeping with her teacher. So continuing on with the story, I was just waiting outside the room until they got done. And one day my mom called me and said that it was an emergency and she had to pick us up early. So I knocked on the door really lightly and then I opened the door. And I'm surprised it wasn't locked. And I opened the door and I see my 13-year-old sister and her 42-year-old teacher just getting it on. I mean, I ain't no snitch, so I didn't say nothing. At the time, I was 11 years old in 6th grade and I high-fived her. Then the teacher bribed me with $500 to not say anything. Again, I was in 6th grade at the time, so my parents would definitely wonder where I got the money from. So the teacher told me that if I let them keep doing their thing, he'll make this fake raffle and say that I won it. Because me and my sister were so close, I never snitched on her. And this is the first time I'm telling the story. Me and my sister don't talk anymore. So if you're that teacher that gave me $500 to keep effing my older sister, you are probably one of the most disgusting people that I've ever met. And if this story gets out there, sorry for saying this, but I need to get this out there. John Wilson, you deserve to rot in jail. Story time of how I found out that there was a guy living in my attic. I'm even pretty sure there's a couple articles on this. So basically, living in the house was me, my mom, my dad, and my younger sister. This story ends up taking a huge twist, so just stay tuned for that. Also, keep in mind that my boyfriend's name at the time was Jacob. When I first started to notice that there was somebody else in my house was when I first started dating Jacob. Mind you, the only time anybody in my entire family has ever been in the attic is the first 2 months that we lived there, and it was only once or twice, and we never seen anything up there. So we would notice that bits of our food would go missing, and every time we packaged leftovers, the leftovers in the Tupperware that we packaged the leftovers in would just completely disappear. And a bunch of my stuff would always go missing. For example, 2 of my pillows and 4 of my blankets gone missing, and my shoes and my clothes, and even my underwear. So one day my boyfriend came over and he left around 1 a.m. So the rest of my family was sleeping. Also, I have the whole entire upstairs to myself, and my mom, dad, and my sister sleeps downstairs. This story just ends up getting really crazy, so for a part 2. Part 2 of how I found out that there was a guy living in my attic. Continuing with the story, I go downstairs and I walk my boyfriend out to the car. Of course, trying to be quiet because the rest of my family is sleeping. So I go back upstairs. Mind you, I have the whole upstairs to myself. And then I go to the bathroom and there was pee in the toilet. And on the wall in front of the toilet, it said Jacob was here with a heart. So I took a picture of it and I posted it on my private story because I just thought it was funny and cute at the same time. And he slid up and said, what? And then he swore up and down that it wasn't him. So anyways, it freaked me out at first, but at the same time, I didn't really care. So I didn't really pay any mind to it. So to speed the story up, my dad had to go in the attic for something, and he found an actual mattress covered in insulation. And in the corner, he found a guy. The guy looked very sickly, skinny, but scary at the same exact time. So, of course, my dad called 911 right away, and the guy admitted to stealing our food, stealing my underwear, stealing things out of my room, basically stealing from us overall, stealing our food, etc. I'm running out of time, but he ended up being a wanted criminal, but he's in jail now, so yeah.
I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm actually gonna do it. I'm gonna expose my weird ass family on my dad's side. So for Thanksgiving, I went home for 4 days. I'm in the military, so I don't get to go home that often. So I went home, I took my boyfriend, and I took my 2 friends. So when we were there, the party was in the back of the house. Everybody's having fun, everybody's drinking, and I drank 2 beers. And that got me pretty buzzed because I do not drink like that. So I ended up noticing that my little brother wasn't there, so me, my boyfriend, and my dad went to go pick up my little brother from my house and take him to the party. My brother was high, and I was drunk. My boyfriend was sober, and so was my dad. So we get to the house. Mind you, everyone is in the back of the house, partying it up. And I noticed that my cousin was in the front of the house. My cousin who had been drinking since 12 in the afternoon, and it was already 4, and he hadn't eaten anything. So my dad, my brother, and my boyfriend go to the back of the house where the party's at, and I stay in the front to check on my cousin. My cousin Andrew was in the front, and I asked him, hey, are you okay? Do you want to eat something? And he's like, oh my god, that is so nice of you. Then my cousin was like, no, I'm okay. I actually am fine. Thank you for checking up on me. I'm just going to stay out here because I'm throwing up. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, all right, no problem. I'm going to go back to the party. So he's like, oh, thank you. He's like, you're like the best cousin ever. And he goes and hugs me. And I hug him back. You know, that's my cousin. And as I'm hugging him, I notice that he grips my ass with both hands. And then I was like shook, like, excuse me, like, you did not just do that. And I didn't know what to say because he's drunk, but at the same time, like, I'm buzzed, but I'm not fucking incoherent. Like, I understand what the fuck just happened. So I was shocked, and I just like kind of pushed him off me, and I went inside the house. And you know, there's always a room with like all the cousins. So I went to the room, and there was 2 cousins in there. It was Vanessa and Laura. I'm making up names because I don't want to expose my family. So it was Vanessa and Laura in the room, and I told Vanessa what had happened, and Laura is 12 years old, and Laura started getting like all teary-eyed. So I noticed that Laura started crying, and I asked her, like, are you okay? What's wrong? And she said, well, he just did the same thing to me. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, 30 minutes ago, he grabbed on my boobs and he grabbed down there. And I was pissed. I wasn't even upset anymore. I was pissed because Laura is 12 years old and Andrew is fucking 26. So I was so fucking pissed. So I got up and I went outside and I told my little brother. My little brother was high. I told him because he was the first person I saw. And he was like, huh? After I told him, and I was like, oh my God, I cannot talk to you right now. I'm getting more frustrated. So I go into my mom and the music's loud. So I'm kind of screaming at her. And then out of nowhere, the music starts turning down. Everybody starts looking at me, but I did not notice. So I was still screaming at my mom, like, this and this just happened. And he touched Laura. He touched Laura on her things and down there, you know? And then my dad got up and he got in my face and said, calm down, you're making a scene. I did not know that Laura's dad was sitting right next to Andrew. So Laura's dad took Andrew and took him to the front of the house, and I was mad because everybody was trying to calm me down. I said, fuck this family, you guys are fucking weirdos. And I was trying to leave, and my mom was grabbing. So as I'm leaving, I go back into the house. You know, I have to go through the house to go back to the front. So I noticed that Laura was inside and she was crying, and I felt so bad, but at the same time, it's like someone needed to say something, because that's not the first time that happened in my dad's side of the family. They're fucking weird. They're disgusting. They're perverts, and they're pedophiles. Yeah. So her grandma, Laura's grandma, which is also her uncle's mom. Yeah, I'm sorry if that's a little confusing, but hopefully you're following. So she was like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And I told her, and she made a face like she didn't believe me. And I was like, he just did this to your granddaughter. And I grabbed on her boobs and I grabbed down there. And I was like, he just did that. How do you feel about that? And she kind of just snapped and she's like, oh, fuck no. So she went outside, and I go outside because I want to leave her. You know, I'm just over it. My boyfriend and all my friends are starting to come to the front. And then I noticed that Laura's dad and Andrew are like getting down now. Like, they're like choking each other. They're getting mad. They're fighting with each other. And I started getting so I had to come to work, but anyways, I'm in my car. So I started getting mad that they were fighting, because I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to hit him because I feel like no one's defending me. My dad didn't give a fuck. My mom was like being irrational, saying she didn't want to go to jail. No one's going to call the cops on you at a family party. So I was just so pissed. So I go and I try to fight him, and my boyfriend grabs me. He like holds me back. And then my mom starts grabbing on me, and everybody starts grabbing on me, and they're pushing me in between a wall and a car. So I started gripping on the window of the car, the side mirror. I was grabbing on that, and then I was also pushing myself on the wall, and I was just trying to like get them off me and get to him. I was just so mad at Andrew that I wanted to do something. I didn't notice, but I was elbowing my boyfriend the whole time, and I didn't notice until after the fact, like when we finally left the party. Anyway, so I just get mad, and next thing you know, I realized that my coworker just pulled up next to me. Awkward. So then I couldn't get to him, so I ended up actually screaming at my dad and like cursing at him. I never cursed at my parents. I've never screamed at them. I've never raised my voice. But I was just so upset that has happened so many times that they have never done anything. So, you know, I have a fucking right. So basically they start getting down. I'm still like fighting my way to there, and like after like 3 failed attempts, because the first time my boyfriend and my mom grabbed me. The second time my dad grabbed me, he pulled me by the hair, and he was like trying to shake me. He was like, you need to calm the fuck down. And the third time when I tried to run to him, my aunt tackled me and put me in a chair, and she was straddling me while she was choking me and screaming in my face. So I was like, you know what? A for effort. I tried, but I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here now. So I got in the car. My mom was trying to take me home. It was me and my boyfriend, my little brother, my mom, and my little brother. So we were all in the car, and I just started screaming at my mom. I was like, bro, this family's like such like bullshit. Like, you guys are fucking weirdos. I cannot stand you. You guys are fake as fuck. Blah 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 blah. And I started going off on her. And So I pack up all my things from my mom's house, so does my boyfriend and my friends. They meet us there. Then me and my friends and my boyfriend, we all drive to another hotel and we leave. And I just told my mom, like, I don't want to ever fucking see you guys. I don't want to talk to you guys. This family's fucking weird. I don't know how the fuck you put up with it. I don't know how you didn't defend me. I was just so fucking aggravated with the whole situation. So I left. And then the next day I went over to my cousin's house, who was Vanessa and Laura. They were there. And I talked to Vanessa about it. And Vanessa's mom, fucking bitch that she is, Vanessa's mom, Emily was like, you were drunk, so it was your fault. And I was like, no, that's not what we're gonna do. We're not gonna teach these girls that because you get drunk or because you dressed inappropriately or this and that. Like, those aren't factors into them grabbing on us or them being pedophiles and weirdos with us. Like, that's not what we're gonna do. So I just looked at Laura and I made sure she was okay, but they were just like over it. Like, they didn't even acknowledge that it happened. They were like giggling about it, like, haha, do you want to go to the beach? What? So that was my Thanksgiving. I don't want any of your pity comments. I don't want, like, oh, that's what you get. I don't care for any of that. I know what happened. I know that isn't right, and I want to make sure that people know that it isn't right either, that you should say something. No one in your family, no one in general should be touching you when you don't want to be touched. If they're not your significant other, if they're not your boyfriend, if they're not someone that you're into, if they're your fucking family members, they should not be fucking touching you sexually. Like, that is fucking weird. That is completely off limits. And I feel so bad that people are, like, so accustomed, especially in Hispanic families. I know that a lot of Hispanic families, like, just let that shit slide because they don't want commotion. They don't want to fuss. They want to create this image of family means everything. No, the fuck it does not. If your fucking family is toxic, fucking weird, perverts, whatever the fuck their issues are, alcoholics, whatever the fuck, you do not have to be around them. You do not have to entertain them. Just because they're your blood does not mean that they're your family. You select who your family is. My friends are better family to me than they are.